2007 was a pretty unbelievable year, to say the least. I think, we met all of our goals. Greg and I, it pretty much, it wasn't unexpected, but you never know how things are going to unfold. That was our plan to hit Des Moines, Worlds, and Beijing, and try to make the team. These are like a plan that we set up 3 years ago now, coming into 2005. And so to actually have 2007 unfold the way you'd planned, 2 years ago is pretty amazing. Even though those 3 races were definitely the goals, you never know how the racing is going to unfold. And I must admit, Des Moines took me by surprise. It was definitely part of the plan, and we rested for it, and I was really focused on it. But you just never know how fit everyone else is. It's early season in a sense. I'd only raced Mooloolaba, which was like preseason racing, and nationals, and still kind of building up. But I think the emotion that I felt from Hy-Vee was pretty huge. That was an amazing race. And then rolling into Worlds, which is always an important time of the year, but a race for me where I really like to race the best in the world, and I want them at their best on that day, and that turned out quite well. But having Olympic trials 2 weeks later made it a bit tough to really let loose at Worlds and be completely rested for. So we had to hold back a little bit there. I don't think the results would have changed much. Maybe I could have given Emma a little bit more of a run, but I was pretty pleased to be back on the podium. That means a lot to me. And then, going into trials in Beijing, it was so hard because going all the way to Europe and then coming back and then going straight over to Beijing all in 2 weeks' time was a bit overwhelming. I don't think I felt decent until the morning of the race. As the race unfolded, I felt good. In the swim and the bike was fine. I think we all watched each other, so it wasn't on too much as far as, people breaking away on the bike. Going into the run, I knew we all came off the bike together, so, it was important to, get a gap on the girls and see if you can hold it and then build on it as you go throughout the race. And I started cramping, I think, thinking about it, and then I was like, what are you doing? Just calm down. Everything's fine. So it was kind of like I was talking myself through a couple of laps in the middle there, and I relaxed and the cramps went away and everything was fine. I mean, I already had a gap on the girls and was running strong, so it turned out. But I must admit, that was probably the first time it felt like work while racing, and that's good though. I mean, sometimes it has to be that way to get the job done. It was almost more of like a weight off my back. It was kind of just so much build for so many years that it was at first a sign of relief and then excitement, to actually get the opportunity to go to the games and be a part of the big show. It was a 4-year plan for these games, deciding after 2004, do we want to go 4 more years with making the Olympic team as the main goal, and of course making money along the way so you can support yourself. Nothing really changes because that was part of the plan of, making the team, and then next year I'll have a certain number of races that'll kind of all build towards the games, and I'll still try to hit a few of those just as strong as this year, and then the peak is the games and trying to medal there. It gives me the opportunity, having made it already, to build the way I want to build and the way I believe I need to build to perform. So I've just opened the door for myself to do it the way I need to get it done. With Fernandez and Emma, they're definitely the 2 girls to beat. But that doesn't mean you don't have to kind of look behind you and keep an eye on the girls coming up. But in the end, it's really about you and where you're headed. These girls just kind of help pull a little bit more out of you. But if you don't see that vision of where you can be, it's pretty hard to get there. So, I mean, right now, the way the races pan out, it's the run that has to drop down, and, we should be consistently running sub-34 minute 10Ks. So I've only come close to that kind of area, and, bringing my run down is definitely going to be a priority over the next couple of months. Well, the next phase of training and everything. But, it's all of that has been building with this training plan we put into effect, 3 years ago. So I would say as it looks right now, the run, but we'll see how the races unfold as the year starts next year. The Olympics, I think I kind of started noticing probably in the 90s, the early 90s, as far as, you know, it could be a part of your life and that kind of thing. I was a swimmer, and, you know, swimming is very much a part of the games. And I think, you know, a coach had said, oh, you know, you keep this kind of work ethic up and you could probably make the games in swimming. And I realized when I got out of university that wasn't kind of the path I wanted to take. But I did get back into triathlon, which I'd been doing since I was about 12 or 10 or something, something crazy. And it probably became a little more clear that was possible to make it for triathlon. And it was worth the hours and time to have that as a goal. And I think, you know, you get comments from people, and it kind of drives you a little bit. You kind of see what you're missing, and then they kind of give you the encouragement of what's possible, but you know yourself what you are missing and where you think you can be. And I think those early years, like in 2000, 2004, missing out on the games, I wasn't quite ready to take on, I guess, what you call like the ambassador role, as representing your country and competing at the games. I think you got to have a lot of your ducks in a row to actually pull your whole life together and to be somebody who now, as an Olympian, you kind of become a little bit of a role model. Like, people respect that. And so when they come to speak to you about it, you know, you have to be a good representative. And I think that starts with yourself. And then, you know, you take it on as being a U.S. Olympian. And, you know, I think finally where I am in my career now, I'm ready for that challenge.